and welcome to our next e-learning. Today is once more about data, and this time we will talk about how to delete callbacks and reset them in the ERMS calling system. I am Patricia Meyer and I'm a Senior Campaign Manager and also in charge of the training of the CMs here at ERMS. So, what are we going to talk about today? Today is all about our management of callbacks. So the process of removing records from the calling lists in the calling system and reshuffling or reorganizing the lists for calling in the calling system. And all this with the help of Callback Manager. So basically both activities can help you add some segmentation and prioritization to your calling. When you are segmenting data, you are grouping your data according to specific criteria, so for example industry or company size. And by prioritization, you can ensure that the agents call either the most important or the most promising records first. So both are good tools to take your calling activity from merely plowing through data to targeted and outcome-oriented calling. They are almost like your little control buttons you can use to steer your project in the right direction. And as always, let's look at why this would be important for you and for your project. The whys are very similar to the ones that you've seen in the similar module about data in Salesforce. We want to enable best possible and most efficient calling by letting the agents call whatever data promises the best outcome. By actively working our data, we want to ensure that we can hit the agreed number and also the quality of results, and ultimately maximize campaign success. A simple example would be, your client is really after juicy, bigger deals. I mean, let's face it, they all are. So what you could do is segment your data and split out the bigger companies in the calling system based on turnover or number of employees, and then set this as a priority one for the agents. So when they call, those leads have a better chance to being the bigger ones the client is looking for. A bit of spice for your campaign. And the options here are numerous. Bottom line, manage your data in the calling system wisely. And now let's see how this works. Okay, so we're going to start with deleting callback lists. What we're doing here is removing callbacks from the calling lists in the calling system. The records remain in the database, they are just not visible for the agents. In this first option, we will look at how we delete the callbacks for a specific callback list. The reasons for doing this can vary. It could be a client request for a specific segment list to be switched off, so not called on. It could also be that you and your client have had a change of mind before the team starts working on the list and you now want to exclude a certain list from the calling. Or you simply want to switch off a badly performing list, except the records that the agents have already moved into their callback lists. There are a few things to bear in mind. This activity will only delete the callbacks in the calling system, so they are no longer visible to the agents. The data is still in the database and the original segment list will still be visible in the Progress by List report. And if you are to delete all records from a specific segment list, this method only works for lists that have not been touched by agents yet. Let's see how this works in real life.